Good morning. I am 5 minutes earlier today. As always, if you're watching in recording, you're welcome to fast forward or stay with us through our hellos. Good morning, Gina. Yeah, I wanted to go outside today to do the practice, but the weather isn't very great. It's drizzling, it's windy, but it's beautiful anyway. Good morning, Judy. All right, it is time for us to start. And today, good morning, Yanni. And today we're gonna continue exploring mindful self-compassion as taught by Kristen Neff and Christopher Germer. And I'll remind you that yesterday we talked about the three elements of self-compassion. The first one, self-kindness versus self-judgment. Second element is understanding our common humanity, our shared humanity versus isolation. And the third element is the mindfulness versus self-identification. So we will explore each element one by one, however many days it takes. Today, let's start exploring the first element, self-kindness. So the authors, Kristen Neff and Christopher Germer, the authors of the Teaching Mindful Self-Compassion book, write the following about self-kindness versus self-judgment in their book. Most of us try to be kind and considerate towards our friends and loved ones when they make mistakes, feel inadequate, or suffer some misfortune. We may offer words of support and understanding to let them know we care. Perhaps even a physical gesture of affection, a hug. We may ask them, "What do you need right now?" and consider what we can do to help. Curiously, we often treat ourselves very differently. We say harsh and cruel things to ourselves that we would never say to a friend. In fact, we often are tougher on ourselves than we are with people we don't even like very much. However, the kindness inherent to self-compassion puts an end to the constant self-judgment and disparaging internal commentary that most of us have come to see as normal. So our internal dialogues become benevolent and encouraging rather than punishing or belittling, reflecting a friendlier and more supportive attitude towards ourselves. With self-kindness, we begin to understand our weaknesses instead of condemning them. We acknowledge our shortcomings while accepting ourselves unconditionally as flawed, imperfect human beings. And most importantly, we recognize the extent to which we harm ourselves through relentless self-criticism. And when we see this, we choose another way. Self-kindness involves more than merely ending self-criticism, though. It's about actively opening up our hearts to ourselves, responding to our suffering as we would to a dear friend in need. Beyond accepting ourselves without judgment, we may also soothe, comfort, care for ourselves. We are motivated to try to help ourselves, to ease our own pain if we can. Normally, even when we experience unavoidable problems, we tend to focus more on fixing the problem rather than on caring for ourselves. We treat ourselves with cold stoicism rather than warmth or tender concern, and we move straight into problem solving. With self-kindness, however, we learn to nurture ourselves when life is difficult, offering support, encouragement. We allow ourselves to be emotionally moved by our own pain, to take a pause and say, "This is really difficult right now. How can I care for myself in this moment?" We can't be perfect, of course, and our lives will always involve struggle. When we deny or resist our imperfections, we exacerbate our suffering in the form of stress, frustration, self-criticism. But when we respond to ourselves with benevolence and goodwill, we generate positive emotions of love and care that helps us cope better. So let's explore this together now. As always, take a comfortable position and take a couple of moments to settle into the here and now, into your body. You may want to close your eyes, turning your attention inward. Notice if there is any tension or stress in any part of your body. And if you find this tension, offer yourself an inner compassionate sigh of relief, allowing your heart to melt a bit with each sigh. Let your breath be soft and easy, totally unforced, natural. And now take a moment to think of a time when you've had a close friend who was suffering in some way. And choose a close friend, not a partner or family member, because sometimes this is too close, but a friend you really care about. The time when this friend was struggling in some way. Maybe they had a misfortune, maybe they failed in something or felt inadequate. In that situation, when your friend had some hardship, how did you respond? What did you say? What tone did you use? What was your posture as you were talking to them? What nonverbal gestures did you use? And now think about a time when you were suffering in a similar way. So again, maybe you had a similar misfortune, failed in a similar way, felt inadequate. In these instances, similar to your friend, but when it was happening to you, or when it is happening to you, how do you typically respond to yourself? What do you say in your head? What tone do you use? What is your posture like? What are your gestures? What is your non-verbal communication with yourself? Do you notice any patterns of difference in how you respond to yourself and your friend? Self-compassion is about treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding as we would treat a friend when things go wrong. So now imagine that you are treating yourself in the same way you treat your friend when they are having some kind of difficult situation. Think of a particular moment when you are self-critical, self-judging, hard on yourself, maybe focusing on solving the problem instead of giving yourself space and time to process it, to be kind to yourself. And imagine that this friend is talking to you, comforting you, soothing you, maybe offering a hug to you. So talk to yourself right now in the voice of your friend, in the words that your friend would use. I'll give you a couple of moments for that. How do you feel when you treat yourself this way? With more kindness, with more compassion, without trying to fix a problem, but giving yourself some space to just be and feel the difficulty, feel your own pain. What's going on in your body as you talk to yourself in a more compassionate way? Do you feel the difference in your body between self-criticism and self-kindness? Keep your breath nice and natural, and just let yourself be right here and now. Whenever you find yourself in a situation when you are struggling and start becoming harsh on yourself, critical, self-judging, take this self-compassion break that we have been practicing for the past couple of days. I'll remind you the three elements, the three phrases that go there. So whenever you notice that you are suffering and struggling, just acknowledge this is a moment of suffering. Then remind yourself of our shared humanity by saying to yourself, suffering is a part of life. And finally, offer yourself some kindness. May I be kind to myself in this moment. This is a moment of suffering. Suffering is a part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment. Just notice how many times during the day do you have to take those self-compassion breaks? And know that even if it's 100, if you notice that you are just constantly like 100 times you need to do it, or 1,000,000 times during the day, know that you are in good company. It's not just you who is self-critical. It's pretty much the majority. Kristen Neff, she's a researcher, right? She's an academic professor, and in her research showed that in the United States, where she did the study, 78% of respondents were more self-critical than self than explain. Oh my God, than showing self-kindness. So, and only actually 6%, I forget what the difference was, but the 6% are people who were showing more self-kindness than self-criticism. So we are all, or pretty much all of us, are in the same boat. So don't worry about that on top of everything else, and just take those self-compassion breaks as often as you can. And I bet that when you make it a practice, you will notice the difference in how you talk to yourself. And as Kristen Neff and Christopher Germer say, your internal dialogues will become more benevolent and kinder. So enjoy that. And if you want to share anything about your experience, of course, do that in the comments. It's always appreciated. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a gorgeous day, and I will see you tomorrow.